Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Deluxe Class Shockwave from Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures. He will round out the first wave of the Macadam Build-A-Figure Deluxes that they're doing. I'm kind of afraid I left the worst for last, which is probably not a good thing to do. I think the robot mode is going to be great, but he has so much going against him when that is the vehicle mode. It's a lazy vehicle mode. I've never liked it across any of the Cyberverse Shockwave figures. It's not Shockwave's fault. He's just fighting an uphill battle when you already know, no matter how well it's done, the vehicle mode is not going to be great, and that's a shame. I also like how his function is Twisted Scientist. It's like, what function do you serve? I'm the Twisted Scientist. Oh, perfect. We need one of those. So hopefully we'll get Hot Rod, Grimlock, RC, and Thunder Howl soon, so we can complete our Macadam figure. But it looks like we get a leg in this one, so there you go. You should be able to connect to the body we already have going, so we'll see how that works out. But packaging is pretty standard. It's what we've seen so far. You got the Macadam Build-A-Figure picture. Over here you got the standard Decepticon group shot. Not too much going on the top or bottom. And then on the back, again, we've seen this list the other ones, robot mode, vehicle mode, da-da-da-da-da. So pretty standard for the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and get them out of there, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here is Shockwave out of the packaging. And real quick, just to get out of the way, here is the Macadam leg. It is a hip that hooks onto a ball joint, and then he's got a ball joint down here in the knee. So that is with the leg attached to what we already have. He's going to be short, though. I mean, even with his head, I mean, depending on how big his head is, but still, he's going to be like a head shorter than everybody else, which is interesting. But anyway, putting him off to the side. Here is the robot mode, which I admit, it does look good. Like I said, if you're buying this figure, it's most likely for the robot mode or the Macadam leg piece, let's be honest. But he looks good. Like, I don't have a problem with the robot mode. The purple's great. The neon pink highlights look really cool. I like this hose that they have going on here, but because it's so stiff, like when you want to pose, it bends it back. So maybe just take some time on your own to kind of bend this around how you want. It's a softer plastic, so it should be fairly malleable. But it's just annoying because, like, oh, I want to pose it like this, and then that thing's like, no, you don't. You want to pose it like this. And it's like, okay, thanks. And again, if you want to just get rid of it completely, you can do that. One, you can completely unpeg this. Although this always happens. It gets stuck in the hand, and I feel like that's going to break the joint eventually. But you can just unpeg it, and he's got a normal hand underneath, and then you can open this and just completely take this out. So if you don't want to mess with that thing, if it annoys you, put it off to the side, and it doesn't matter. You don't need it. He comes with a really cool blaster. I will give him that. So he's got this really cool gun, which I like. Nice detail, nice pink. Got a little bit of fluorescent pink there to match the rest of his color scheme. And then he's got this effect piece. Mine's a little bent from being in the packaging, so I'll have to fix that. It's actually two separate pieces, so if you don't want that piece, you could just clip this on. I will admit it looks kind of weird. But this piece just sits around the base, and then when you peg this in, you can see that it's bent, so it looks weird. Let me see, how's that? Is that better? So there you go. You can attach it to that effect piece. You can also attach it to this. You can clip it on the end here. No problems. Again, it's bent, so it looks weird, but if I fix a little bit. And you can actually take this, I think you can take this completely out of here. Yeah. So like I said, if you want to, you know, maybe some boiling water or something, or maybe if I just mess with it enough, it'll bend itself out. I don't know. It's annoying that it doesn't fit in there better, but peg this back in. So I'll put it back on later, but you can just take it completely off, which is nice. And then he's just got two normal arms and hands. Head can go from side to side. There's a ball joint here where the shoulder connects to the main body. It's a little stiff, but I feel like over time, just moving it around will fix it up. So there's a ball joint there. You have a bicep swivel, 90 degrees in the elbow. I think the wrist is... Does the wrist move? No, the wrist is stationary. You can see how it transforms. And every time I try to pull the cannon out of this hand, it pulls this up, and I really don't want it to break this joint eventually, so hopefully it won't. Waist can spin. You have out to the side, front and back kick in the hip. You have 90 degrees there in the knee, and then you do have some ankle tilt. So pretty good articulation. And like I said, even just without the arm thing, he still looks like a cool figure, and I do like the gun that he comes with. So that's really cool. And he really does have some nice paint applications, I have to say. The Decepticon symbol on the chest looks really good. The yellow for the eye. And just all that neon pink around. Even the silver on the sides of the arms and the feet, I think, look really good. And I guess he's got a backpack if for some reason you wanted to hide some stuff. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't really work like that. But yeah, it looks okay. In robot mode, it's fine. This thing works kind of. It's just a question of, like, it works. You just have to get it pegged in. And then you have to make sure that this plastic can bend to whatever pose you desire without it being too stiff. But again, you can work on that. Because I like to do kind of like a pose like this with the gun up, but it's not really. There it goes. That's a little better. But you can see over time it's going to start to bring that down. You can see it moving. So it's not a big deal. But I think the effect piece is cool. I like the blaster. I mean, with Soundwave, with Shockwave, you always have the cable. That's kind of, standard for him. So I'm glad they included it. But I also like the fact that they made it removable if you want. So it's not so annoying. But yeah, robot mode definitely looks good. Alright, now it's time for the transformation. I've gone ahead and removed all the accessories. The gun will come back into play. This thing will definitely come back into play, but for now, we'll get on with this. Now, it wants you to lift up the hands like that, flip out the feet, flip this around, close that up, and then put the feet back. Do that for each hand. That was like 8 steps in the directions for how simple that is. Because they know they've got nothing. That's the big bulk. That's the bulk of the transformation for the figure. I'm not even lying. Like, that's most of it. At this point, you're going to bend the little antenna down a little bit so that you can swing up this chest piece. I guess you have to pull it away a little bit first. No, I think you should be able to be fine to pull it up. But if for some reason it's giving you trouble, try to pull it away a little bit, because once you put it back up, then you push it down. You're going to spin the waist 180 degrees. You're practically done. These little pieces here are going to flip up, and they're supposed to, like, I guess it does make sense to lift this up a little bit, push these down, and then push this down so it looks a little bit more flush. But the problem is, so that's your big thing is, ooh, look, it gives the vehicle creature mode, whatever it's supposed to be, these little, like, antenna in the front, but the arms get in the way. The shoulders are in the way of this. Like, you can't push this down because that shoulder gets in the way. It's like you can't even get the bad transformation right. Like, this, I don't know, it just doesn't fit flush. Like, this one seems to fit okay. This one's giving me trouble, but it doesn't matter, because after this review I'll probably never put it in this mode ever again. So you just move the arms around like this. I guess if you have the shoulders just right, it works a little bit better. So I guess that's some of my bad, but it's not really easy to defend this. So anyway, here's the crab front. Then you just bend these down. And that's the back of it. And then it wants you to open up the backpack. And that doesn't even like peg in or anything. It just sits here. So there you go. There's your weird crab walker thing. Now it wants you to come back and peg this back in. So if you didn't want to move it, you didn't have to. But it wants you to lift. How do I get this in? Just spin it around. Basically, you're going to peg the part that went into the hand into this little spot right here. Okay, so there's that. And then it wants you to take the gun and peg that into the side here. And there you go. There's your vehicle mode, creature mode, crab walker, whatever you want to call it. There it is. So I'm pretty sure you guys know how I feel about this at this point. This was a lazy vehicle mode when we first saw it with that first wave of warrior class. Then they did something very similar in the ultra class, and now we're getting it in a deluxe class. I don't know. Shockwave just, he deserves better than this. I don't know why they decided to give him this. It's really lazy. It's literally just like he fell backwards. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't care for it. That's all there is to it. I mean, I guess there's articulation, but it's just the normal articulation of his legs and arms because all he did was fall over. It's weird. I don't care for it. They tried to dress it up with some more guns. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So at the end of the day, there are some good things about it. Like I said, I think the robot mode looks great. The paint applications are great. The articulation's nice. He looks like a very good Shockwave Deluxe class figure. I like the hose because, like I said, it's kind of a signature piece of Shockwave, so I'm glad they included it. It's a little stiff, but I think over time you could get that to, you know, be a little bit less restrictive. But it's just right now, like when I try to pose the figure, it ends up making it bend backwards. But like I said, if you really don't like it at all, you can remove it. You could take this completely off and then just use the gun. You can completely remove the gun hand, give him 2 normal arms, whatever you prefer. So I like that option is included. The vehicle mode, I thought it was lazy to begin with. It hasn't gotten any better. I've never liked it. So to me, just pretend it doesn't exist. I mean, I don't know. It still upsets me at this point. I know I should get over it. There's no point complaining about it anymore. But yeah, like at the end of the day, when they first announced these deluxe class figures, I knew I wanted Bumblebee. I figured I'd probably get Optimus because he looked good. I wasn't originally going to get Megatron or Shockwave. Then you throw in the Build-A-Figure mechanic. And when I look at the last set of 4 that are coming out soon, I was like, well, I'm probably going to buy all 4 of those. So am I really going to buy, 6 out of 8 of these things? So I bought Megatron and Shockwave. In the long run, I'm glad I got Megatron. I think he's pretty decent. I like his tank mode. I went back and played with the tank mode from the Spark Armor the other day, and that tank mode is actually pretty terrible. So the Deluxe class Megatron's tank mode is actually a step up in my opinion. I appreciate that figure, I think, even more now. So I'm glad I got Megatron. I'm still not really glad I got this, if I'm going to be truthful. I got it for the Macadam leg. That's the main reason I picked this up. But I do think it's a good like robot mode. So I'll probably just leave him in robot mode and never transform him again, and that's fine. He'll just look, because he looks great and he's a classic character, and I like the guns and accessories and everything that he comes with. Just pretend he's not a transformer. Just pretend he's a robot action figure and you're good to go. So I'm harping on it at this point. I'm just rambling, but that's going to do it for this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.